Well, hello, welcome once again to this Blue Star Careers webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we welcome back our team from Intuit. We're so excited to welcome back the recruiting team. We have teamed up once again with them to explore remote work options for military spouses, where no matter where the military takes you, you can find a remote opportunity that supports your lifestyle. So we're very excited to share this with you. I'm talking about becoming a virtual tax professional and working remotely. Intuit not only will help you get trained, but they also, upon completion of your training and upskilling options, you can apply to work with them. That's right. We have Angela Blaze Green, a tax associate, TurboTax Live member, and a retired Army veteran who's here with us today, as well as we welcome back Santiago Barrientos, a senior professional recruiter who has been with Intuit supporting our community as well as our bilingual community as well. So let's welcome them back and learn all about the great opportunities that they themselves enjoy, but also how they help other members from our community join their team. Please post your comments, your questions. We love to be able to showcase you at the end and highlight and send you shout outs. Our Blue Star Careers community also in the neighborhood will have all of the details and everything that you need in order for you to follow up with the Intuit team. So are you ready? Perfect. Let's get started. Once again, pay it forward as well. If you know of someone from our community who needs to know this, who needs to have a remote opportunity that no matter where the military takes them, this is a great rewarding career. And you'll hear from Angela why this is such a great job. Let's get started. Well, hello. Welcome to our great Wednesday Blue Star Careers webinar. Thank you so much for supporting. Again, post your comments, pay it forward, tag your milspouse friend, your veteran in transition, someone who's looking for part-time, full-time, or just in general a great career. We are talking about remote work this way with through the Intuit Academy, but most importantly with great members from our hiring team right here in Intuit. And I say we because I feel like I'm part of the hiring team that are welcoming new members from our member community to really get you into a really rewarding path. So without further ado, let me welcome Angela. Angela, welcome. So thank you so much. Would you please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your unique opportunity?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Blaze Green, and I am a retired Army veteran. I'm currently located in Lincoln, Alabama. I have served during Operation Iraqi Freedom, but I also have the honor of serving as a military spouse and a parent. I have been married for 21 years, retired for 15 years, but I've been working in the tax world for about 11 years. Here with the company, I have been to it for 2 seasons as a tax expert.
2 seasons. That's a wonderful, like lifetime achievement career. If I remember from my times, that's a great career trajectory, Angela. Thank you so much for sharing. Santiago, welcome back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. Yes, my name is Santiago Barrientos. I'm calling in from the warm state of Texas. I actually joined this team, fantastic team, I will say, about 6 seasons ago as a bilingual recruiter. I've had the opportunity to work both as a recruiter and a lead, and currently spearheading all sorts of different efforts, such as referrals or recruiting for all things TurboTax, including all sorts of different roles.
So you are very well knowledgeable about anything recruited and related into it. You're definitely the kind of point of contact we want to have on our inbox for sure, on our LinkedIn connections. So, but thank you for coming back and sharing a little bit more about where you've been, what you've been up to. And then I know you're going to walk us really quick through the process of how Intuit hires. You're going to share your screen and you're going to tell us a little bit more further. But then we also just want to highlight to the members, we want to make sure that you are all posting your comments, your questions, so that we can share with you towards the end, highlight, and more specifically, get you into a really great career opportunity. So, what do you say, Santiago? Are you ready to walk us and tell us all about this great, amazing opportunity?
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's kick things off by talking a little bit about who Intuit is and what roles we have available. So the Intuit Military and Veteran Initiative is going to be our company commitment to help transform the lives of military families and veterans through community, jobs, and financial empowerment. We celebrate our veteran workforce and strive to help more veterans break into the tech sector. So it's important to note here that this initiative is not just for veterans or those who are active duty in the military, but it's also for military spouses and families. We understand the sacrifice goes beyond those who put on the uniform. And from a job perspective, we have lots of career opportunities for military veterans and spouses here at Intuit. We're actively recruiting top talent, military veterans, and their families, and we believe that your wide range of life experiences can bring valuable ideas and perspectives to the Intuit workforce. So, just a little bit about Intuit and why this is a great place to be associated. So you don't have to just take our word for it. You can learn about us from many distinguished organizations that have ranked us as a best place to work. We've been ranked 23 on Fortune 100's best companies to work for in the US. We've been listed on People's Magazine as companies that care, Forbes America's best employees for diversity, and on Glass places to work, employees' choice list, just to name a few. So we've been recognized as a company who really does care about our customers, employees, communities, and environment. So even though our roles are seasonal, we still offer some great benefits. So, first, all of our jobs are remote. So you will get to work remote from your home or home office. Now, our only requirement is that you reside within the US. Otherwise, you can work where you like. You can also select a schedule that best works for you with our scheduling model. So, for scheduling, during the tax season, we do offer some different work schedules that are on a first come, first serve basis around our operating hours. Now, normally those operating hours are from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. However, during the tax season, we have extended seasonal hours where we are open 7 days a week. And we're also going to be open from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific, which is 8 a.m. to midnight Eastern. Now, this normally starts mid January and runs through April. Now, keep in mind, as far as a time commitment goes, really just be able to commit to a minimum schedule of at least 20 hours a week and minimum of 4 hour blocks throughout the season. Now, no matter which tax role you're in, we're going to be offering some great perks. So, for example, we have a 401k savings plan and Intuit matching program. So, for every dollar that you contribute, Intuit will contribute $1.25 up to 6%. And you're going to be vested on day one. Now, for anyone who does come back year after year, we do continue to match over and over for you as you work through the seasons. Now, we also have an employee stock purchase plan, which will give you the opportunity to buy stock at employee prices. Now, if you are interested in stock, take a look at how we're doing. This is a really great benefit. And then we also have other things such as an employee assistance program and paid sick leave. And of course, you do get product discounts and a partial internet reimbursement. So now I can walk you through the different positions that we have available within TurboTax Live. So we offer three different seasonal tax roles. Once again, they're all remote and for candidates that reside within the US. And we'll start off with the tax specialist role. So the tax specialist requirements, they do include, and I will say the most important requirement is going to be completing our own Intuit Academy training. I will cover Intuit Academy a little bit more in detail later, but just keep in mind that if you successfully earn your tax level 1 badge and complete the tax preparation program, you will receive a waiver for the 2-year paid tax preparation experience needed to apply for our tax roles. Now, anyone can go from zero tax experience to being hired as a tax specialist if you go through our free training program. The other requirement would be to have a PTIN or personal tax identification number, and of course, any special state requirements required by your specific state to be a tax preparer. Now, the other roles that we have are going to be our tax associate. And for this one, we do require that minimum of 2 years of paid tax preparation experience preparing both federal and state individual 1040 tax returns. We do ask that you have prepared a minimum of 30 or more tax returns per season. And then once again, having both that PTIN and those special state requirements. Now, lastly, we do have a tax expert role. And the requirements for this one are going to be very similar to the tax associate one in terms of the 2 years and the 30 returns per season. However, this one does require an active credential, whether it be as a certified public accountant, an enrolled agent, or a practicing attorney. So, now, how can you get hired if you have no tax experience? So, we offer a great opportunity for anyone with no tax experience to do this through our free online Intuit Academy training program in order to become a qualified applicant. So, this online training program is going to be a great way to become job ready and get in front of our recruitment team if you're not necessarily qualified for a position with us. Now, this online training program, it is designed with a community first approach where we offer free tax courses and exams. So currently, we offer tax level 1, tax level 2. We have a tax preparation program, and we have several other specialty courses such as cryptocurrency or bookkeeping. And it's all going to be self paced. So each learner can take our courses and exams at their own pace and at their own time. Now, the two programs that are required to become qualified for the tax specialist role are the tax level 1 course and tax preparation program. So once you go through that course and you pass that test, you earn your tax level 1 badge, and once that happens, you will have the tax preparation program to successfully complete. And then at that point in time, you will receive that waiver for the 2-year paid experience requirement I had mentioned earlier. You will then be considered qualified to apply for that tax specialist position. Now, this is a huge job opportunity for anyone with no tax experience, but who is interested in getting their foot in the door at Intuit. And we're currently looking to hire about 1,000 new learners through this pathway by November 1st. So anyone who is interested should enroll for our program using this link in the deck today. All right, now I'd love to bring on Angela so she can share a little bit about her journey to Intuit, where she is now a tax associate with us. Welcome, Angela.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Angela. So, can you please maybe give everyone here a quick refresher on what your role here is at Intuit and how long you've been with us?
Absolutely. So, here at Intuit, I am a seasonal tax expert. I have been with the company for 2 years, which would be 2 seasons. A season would be from January to April. And so during that time, I serve clients through chat and or video as needed.
Thank you so much. Now, I would love to hear from you on what a typical day looks like. Especially when you're in your seasonal position as a seasonal tax expert. Please just walk us through a day in your life as a tax expert.
All right. So, as a seasonal tax expert, a day for me begins with some tasks like checking my Outlook email. I join daily huddles, which are small meetings. We have team chats for various uses throughout the day. I also answer those video and those chat calls from the clients. Now, the clients can have expert reviews, they may need tax preparation, or they may need assistance with some of their navigation of their software. On some days, I might have training, and on other days, I might have to do a little bit of research. So typically, that's what my day looks like. It is a routine, but the great thing is no day is exactly like the day before.
That was incredibly helpful. Thank you, Angela. Okay, so when you first started working here at Intuit, what equipment or resources were provided to you?
Oh, everything. So Intuit does it all. They send you this awesome big blue box. You look forward to getting it, but inside you have not only do a laptop, but cords for setup, your VPN connections. You get a webcam for your video purposes, also to include a headset with a microphone. Once I completed my first season, my first year, I was also able to get approved for an additional monitor. So, in addition to my laptop, I have an extended monitor, which was also from the company. So, they give you everything that you need. All you need is internet, and they reimburse that.
Perfect. So let me ask you, how has Intuit helped you grow your career? I know you're a tax associate here at Intuit, but how were you able to get here?
Intuit has really helped me grow in my career because I've been able to expand my virtual leadership skills. And that may sound funny, but being in the military, there are many opportunities when we're in leadership roles and we're used to leading others. That is different in the remote world, the way you do meetings and the way you conduct various things. And so I'm able to expand and learn. And by doing that, I'm helping out with my manager, I'm assisting in training, but it's making me better in my platform because in the future, as I want to expand, I have those things to grow on. Another way Intuit is helping me is they have all of these free training platforms, including the Intuit Assist that Santiago was sharing. It's continuous resources that if you were to go somewhere else or if you were using different platforms, you would have to pay for it. So that is another plus. All of these things collaborated, not only do they add to my value, but to the company, it may assist in increasing my wages. It may give me better bonuses at the end of the season. And it can also extend opportunities like myself. So I have been with the company for 2 seasons, January to April. But this year, I had the opportunity to come back on for the August peak. This is considered fall peak. So from August to October, I've been able to expand. So there's plenty room for growth and development.
Absolutely. And I'm sure being in October, it is going to be such a busy time for all you tax preparers out there. So thank you all for tuning in with us now. So you have heard me speak to Intuit's awards and that brand recognition as a company, but I'd like to know your thoughts on the culture here. As a military spouse working here at Intuit, what is that like for you?
I love the structure and the organization. You know, in the military, we're used to that dress right dress, and it does really make a difference. We know disorganization causes chaos. And so the way things are set up, organized from the onboarding process all the way through transition, everything is designed in a way to where you can do start to finish and it not be stressful. In addition to that, with the brand is the flexibility. So on the military side, we've got that structure and organization. But as you're becoming expanding your opportunity, you've got the flexibility in the schedule, being able to adjust your routine. And that's going to be the little bit of a difference from the military side, whereas everything is kind of straightforward. So flexibility and organization put into one, that equals Intuit.
I love it. I love it, and that is very true, at least from my experience as well. So I love to always hear similar things like that. Now, let me ask you, what perks or benefits do you enjoy the most here?
I really love, there's a lot of things that I really love. But one of them is that Intuit really values me. And how do I mean that? So, in addition to all those training resources to advance my career, there are many other platforms and resources that I can go to for self care, building myself mentally, physically, also gaining the personal me in addition to the career me. So that's a really good thing. I love the employee stock options that are available. There's always company incentives and perks. I always say, oh, we got another contest. But these contests are to motivate you, but also, give you extra kudos. Those are really great. At the end of the season, according to your performance, you also have an opportunity to get a bonus. And so the better you do, the best outcome you have. Of course, this bonus can be really good. But I'm going to say the one that I really, really love of all of these is that just like in the military, you develop a family, you develop a relationship, you have a squad, you have a team. You have that type of system with Intuit. You have a team, you have a manager, and when you work together, you get to be with others who have the similar passions, but then you also get to motivate and teach each other as you're going through. And I think that's one of the most rewarding things as you grow.
I love to hear that. And I love to know that, even though you're remote, it doesn't necessarily feel quite so isolated. So I appreciate you sharing that. Now, lastly, here, uh, any piece of advice that you would want to give other military affiliated on this call who are interested in working at Intuit?
I'm going to say go for it. Intuit is going to provide a rewarding and a resourceful experience before and after the hiring process if you're coming on the team. And so you can't go wrong. It's a win win situation, hands down. Personal growth, it can only be encouraged. Do it, do it, do it. I think you'll love it.
Well, thank you so much, Angela, for your time and sharing with us a little bit about your personal experience here at Intuit. And I do want to say thank you so much to all of you for attending our session today. If you like what you heard today and you would like to apply to become a TurboTax Live expert at Intuit, or to get started on that tax journey through Intuit Academy, please enroll today. Other than that, I'm more than happy to take any questions that we might have.
Thank you so much, team. And let's keep that the this, slide on. Let's keep it on so we can continue to encourage everyone to go and apply it. We also shared the link where you can go and join the academy in the comments, and we're also share those in the we also shared we will have all of these follow-ups in the neighborhood. We have a lot of great members and talent. So before I post the questions, let me get our shout outs out of the way. Why don't you say that, Angela? Yeah, some fellow military and community members. We want to send a shout out all the way to Erica Flores. Thank you. Nicole, Work for Warriors over in Nevada. Thank you so much, team, for supporting, and please share with your community. We want to make sure that okay, sorry. I just want to make sure that we were still Christine, Estrella. We also have Naomi, Betty, and Shelby. Thank you so much for supporting and commenting. I do want to now bring a couple of questions. I have Joni here on Facebook, and she posted this question. If you guys mentioned, you mentioned additional courses like bookkeeping. How is this program different than the Google Coursera certificate? I know you guys were previously in Coursera, so and there's a couple of VSO communities that offer Intuit QuickBooks. Can you break down a little bit the advantages of going directly to the academy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Angela, is there any particular bookkeeping resources that you would like to shout out before I kind of go on to the Intuit Academy or uh, QuickBooks Live certification?
Intuit Academy would be my go-to in this one. So no, sir, go right ahead.
Thank you. So yes, so we the wonderful part about Intuit Academy is that since all of the courses they're free, they're open to the public, you can enroll onto it and you can learn whether it be some bookkeeping courses or if there are specific QuickBooks Live things, we have several resources on that end as well to obtain that QuickBooks online pro certification.
Excellent, thank you. And then if I may add to Joni, there are a lot of great, complementary resources out there. But if I may, just from a recruiter probably perspective for the Intuit team, I think you mentioned it, Santiago. You pre-screen or use the Intuit Academy as a talent, source for you to hire future members, right? So it's probably easier and makes sense for you to join this way through the academy versus going through one of us, through Coursera, through USO or any other bridge, which eventually will get you probably perhaps too into it. But I think this is faster, if I may compliment that, Joni. This is faster. Just go straight to the academy. This is faster, quicker, and then you'll always be also notified faster on alerts when their Intuit team has any internal webinars, prep courses, or other additional stuff. I know because I'm in it, and so I get all of those notifications. So I'm a learning enthusiast, so that's why I'm sharing that with you. I do have another question or a shout out, better yet, from Betty, and it's a little bit here. I'm going to share with you. Good morning from Hawaii. Hello, thank you. She completed her portion of the Tax Academy Level 1 yesterday and is studying for the practice exam. So she does have a couple of questions. What internet speed is required for the virtual Intuit employee? And then there's a couple of other questions, but because it's a little bit longer on the text, I will read that to you. Okay. But if you want to address the speed, that would be great, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So the internet speed, it's fairly basic. It would actually be 5 megabits of download and then 3 megabits of upload. And I believe it is 150 ms latency. So it's nothing that will be too difficult to obtain with that.
Great.
Uh,
And then another question that is part of the post is, do you have to reapply it each year? How will the recent federal tax filing extensions for filers in disaster areas affect the length of the season employment at Intuit? If at all it applies.
Yeah, so I'm happy to touch on the application process. So the wonderful thing about Intuit is that sometimes with our application process, we understand sometimes whether it be nerves or whatever the case may be. Sometimes the outcome might not necessarily be what you're looking for, but that doesn't rule you out from applying year over year. In fact, you can actually apply every 6 months, and so. That is something that your recruiter can let you know a little bit more in detail. But of course, ideal case scenario would be having that successful interview and then moving on to the next steps. Now, regarding the filing extensions, Angela, do you perhaps have a little bit of insight on that? I can share from a recruiting perspective, but maybe not necessarily so much from the tax preparer side of that.
So on a prepare standpoint, we do know that the deadline is coming on October 15th, and that deadline is more so geared from the IRS. It also complies with the software. When it comes to the different storms and the things that we have had to face lately, Intuit is supporting the clients not to extend out the date, but they are sending out emails or providing resources for those areas specifically. So if you were in an area that was targeted individually and you have returns that need to be done, there are things that's to be reached out. But because softwares change over come the end of the year to prepare for the following year, things begin to kind of adjust as far as so things were probably done in the mail if someone did not get past that or get done before the 15th for filing.
So, in summary, there is possibilities to have work extended a couple of weeks, perhaps, or maybe extra days past the deadline? Like for instance, in tax season, uh, September, what is it, April 15. So is there possibilities because of all these, extra needs of members who are affected, they can still probably work past, I don't know, May?
If this were a situation where I believe it had affected the main tax season, there would have been a major adjustment. And so, because there was an adjustment on the federal end or anything declared, this would be individually according to each issue for each individual. So, by case situation, particularly. But for extending each employee, because there hasn't been anything mandated, it would be strategically according to the scheduling and preferences of the company, which would be identified through the managers beforehand. Um,
Correct. Thank you. And I imagine, I mean, it all has to do based on, of course, of mandates, as you mentioned, Angela, from the
mhm,
IRS. So, the
mhm.
timelines come and extensions, all that comes based on the tax, the IRS and the tax work need as well, and all of that. Okay, great. I want to take another moment to send shout out to Wemi, and Crystal, Shelby again, Santiago, Janet, all the way in our Spouse First community. Thank you so much for watching. Continue to post your questions. We will make sure that we return and we address them, as well as all these links will be selected and shared with you in the neighborhood, as well as that we have a target list in the neighborhood collected for those of you who need additional support. If you want to talk about options, experience, we can give you more personalized before you get sent finally to the Intuit Academy or to the Intuit team, to make sure that you really land and with very true intentions. And most importantly, build that remote career that you want. I'm going to put Angela on the spot. I know Santiago did such a great job in polishing and getting from you, Angela, some great experience, but and you and I were talking right before we actually went live, and coming from the army, was this intimidating learning about taxes, or were you thinking, oh my God, I have to know all about math? What are some of those common misconceptions that you now have completely taken off of your can do type of list?
Absolutely. Well, definitely transition from the military and then going into taxes was not something that I thought of. There was probably about 3 or 4 years before I stepped into the tax world, and I was introduced by a friend, and a class was presented, a class that I had to pay for. And as I began training, I began to be more intrigued by what I was learning. And then, of course, everybody has issues with the IRS. Somebody's always has a problem. And so, as I was training, if I heard a problem or an issue someone had, it inclined me to research more. And so, I began to learn that I could help people change their lives, teach them, provide them information that is not given. We know in the military, don't ask, don't tell. It's not readily given. And so I was in a position where I could continue serving, not in my uniform, but helping people all across the globe, especially soldiers. We're in all these different states and you have to file these different things. And so, what better way than to help serve our community, but to be knowledge in this area and help us across the globe?
Awesome. Thank you. And then Santiago, you've been a great friend of our military community and hiring and helping us prep, coaching us on best practices. What are some, huge takeaways since you've been involved with our community as far as talent or again, going back to the best practices? What do we still need to sort of enjoy from these options or takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, so I think really more than anything, right, is the takeaway is that because we have such a wide community, as far as when you're walking into a role like this one, I know Angela kind of touched a little bit on it, is the community aspect of it, right? Even though you're remote, you never feel like you're disconnected, and that's something that I've heard from multiple folks, in the company. It is something that I think beyond just the role, you get exposure to such a large community of tax professionals or accounting professionals, that you end up making connections all over the place. As far as specific best practices, I know, think was it Uni that was asking about the bookkeeping. I've seen folks transition from tax preparation to bookkeeping or vice versa, or even use this specific role to launch their own business. It is something that Intuit does encourage, and we do so by providing, professional product discounts that from Intuit, so that you can get that started. So there's just so many opportunities um, here to be had that we just don't have enough time to cover on this short time that we have. But I would say definitely give it a try.
Absolutely. Thank you. And then again, I would like to encourage you all to just continue to post your questions and then join us in the Blue Star Careers community in the neighborhood where we will share follow up. But also, if you raise your hand and you said, hey, I need to just discuss this further, I got the webinar, but I still have some more questions, just reach out and we're happy to meet with you. But also, the bottom line is just join the academy. I'm in it. A bunch of us from the community are in it, and we are all learning at your own self-pace. It all depends really what your goal is. Is your goal to secure a remote opportunity like now this fall? Then invest in your learning, in your training, and you can be done like 2 weeks or so and have potentially a career by November. If you're still kind of like, well, I'm not sure, I just want to learn, I want to study the things and take my space, maybe next season, tax season, you'll have a little more intentions, then you'll have a more availability. But by then, you'll really won't be mastering what you learn. But this is really intended for us to get you a job this fall, this hiring season, and for you to secure that great remote opportunity. Santiago, back to you real quick. I have a question here. Uh, what you mentioned, there was part-time is 20 hours minimum a week that you work. When are you done hiring for tax season 2025, 2024?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I guess I will start it off by sharing that it is a minimum of 20 hours. Now you can work beyond that, of course, depending on your schedule and the availability. It does pay off to sign up sooner rather than later, just because the schedules, right? Sometimes there is going to be a little bit more availability right now that we are in October versus December or January. So if you do sign up, closer to the start of tax season, there just might be a little bit more limited in terms of that availability. So that would definitely be kind of the first piece of advice if you're considering this. The other one is that typically we do stop hiring for these roles close to about that January timeframe, just because we are getting started into the tax season. It just ultimately depends on um, any changes that we might see. I think we touched on some of those IRS time frames, right? I know there's been previous years where we have extensions or filing deadlines that change, and so maybe some of those could potentially change the hiring frame. But typically, December or January is kind of when we start slowing down in terms of hiring.
And one quick question, somebody just texted me. How long does it take to complete all the courses? I know it's on the website, but maybe sometimes just hearing it, at least the first course that you need in order for you to advance to just one of the careers, the entry level one that you guys offer.
Yeah, great question. So the what I can share about that is that if you have been practicing taxes, or maybe just don't have that experience yet, but you have the knowledge, you can actually skip the course and you can test out of tax level one. If, however, as far as the actual course itself, I believe it is about 30 hours or so to complete it.
So it's a whole week. Just that's it, done, right? It's or spread it out into 3 weekends, right, Angela? And so be able to have something really rewarding. Okay, so we're getting really close to wrapping it up. We have some really good members that are still watching. Thank you so much for supporting. Continue to post your questions. We'll share everything with you. Come back and respond to you individually. But you can also join the Blue Star Careers neighborhood. Remember, that's where we host all of their additional resources, follow up, but also provide you personalized support. And we are building, we have actually a folder for the Intuit and Intuit Academy as well for you, for all of our members to get just in general feedback plus support so that you can reach your destination to a great career remote opportunity. So, right before we go, Santiago and Angela, something we like to ask our guests is, call or call to action, individual call to action, anything you're working on personally or through your job. How can we all support you? If you can share something with that, how can we support you and become allies to your success? Angela, we'll start with you.
All right. So my steps would be to include continuous training. I'm always seeking more knowledge. And so as I continue to do that, I plan on expanding my opportunities with TurboTax and possibly land myself a leadership role.
Awesome. Thank you. Santiago, for you as well, what's your call to action and your personal steps that we can all help you?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess really as far as kind of call to action or steps, I definitely would say, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd love to be a resource. All things into it. Like I mentioned, there's so many different little programs here and there that you never know. You could potentially, have an opportunity that you just don't know is there. And so, would love to be able to be kind of that person to share those things out and kind of spread all that information, right? Because I think with Intuit, powering prosperity is such a core belief, and I think just love to drive that.
Excellent. Thank you. And then for everyone else, thank you so much for watching and supporting. Additional questions will be answered. Again, join our Blue Star Careers group in the neighborhood. We'll love to be able to support you and and support you further with getting you closer to these opportunities. So thank you so much, Angela, and thank you, Santiago. um, I do also want to encourage bilingual talent to please apply. Bilingual talent is very much welcome in this type of work and service, and there's so many great opportunities. Every member out there who is part of our bilingual community too, please take advantage of this. We'll facilitate an introduction to Santiago and anybody else who can help us and support him. So, but just so that we don't make this webinar super long and we get the team, Santiago back to hiring, Angela back to supporting, and of course, helping our members file their taxes before October 15th deadline. We're going to end this, but again, more follow up and more support is